Hello and welcome everybody to Division 2 of Zoom Racing League. We are here in round 8 at Silverstone and qualifying is already underway. And as you guys can see on the screen, we do have rainy conditions and our driver's already out. We've got Grid Jokes already out on a lap in the Alfa Romeo. I think we have a couple other drivers ahead as well. But join with me here in the booth today. We got Hudson Poole. We got a rain race, Hudson. What's your thoughts?
Oh, it's going to be... Well, we don't have a rain race. We have a rain qualifying. We just got told that the race is going to be dry. But having a wet qualifying just changes everything up. Because it shows who has the skill to conquer both types of, different type of asphalt, I guess. And, it'll be interesting to see who can get pole. Usually your regular pole sitter might not get it. Like Marcel or... Dougie Falcons, maybe there's someone that's better at the rain, so we'll see. But both Alfa Romeo drivers on a lap, so what's it called? P4 right now. Grid Jokes gonna cross the line, and
that might have been an out lap. Yeah, I'm not sure what was going on there, but
Max is about to finish the lap.
So we'll hop on board with Max down, coming around through Stowe. And Max is actually a new driver. He's a permanent driver on the Division 2 grid. And I'm not sure if we're...
Yeah, I think he's lagging a bit.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's me lagging or if it's him lagging, but he puts up the first time on the board. And that's going to be a good time for us to compare, everyone else to. So 36.837. I don't see, like, heavy dark clouds in the sky, though, right? This rain could be lightening up.
It could, yeah. But with Max's lap set so far, no one has even come close to it. The next two drivers, Alex Duarte and Colin Edwards. Looks to be like a pretty solid lap so far. But Lights beats it by, wow, 0.06 of a second.
Yeah, so good time for Lights as he comes across the line. Oh, is he going to spin? He is going to spin. We are seeing a lot of lag, though, so not sure what's going on with that. Hopefully that's not on my end. I'm sorry. I guess hopefully it would be on my end, but hopefully you guys aren't experiencing any lag on the stream. But yeah, Hudson, are you seeing this on your end as well?
Only for the drivers you're looking at, yeah. But like if you want like Beamer, he's not lagging at all, so it might just be the drivers.
Okay, that's fair enough. Let's hop on board with Beamer. He is on a lap as well.
Yeah, but we have a really close top three here, all within a tenth of each other. And then from third to fourth, it drops off quite a bit, around 0.5. Marcel, which could be a very good contender for pole at the moment, just set a lap to have a delta, what it seems like. Maybe he had a moment or something like that, so he backed out.
And Beamer does invalidate. So, with these sort of conditions, like you said, it does show the difference of like who can perform better on different sorts of pavement. But, I'm curious if anyone would have the balls to be, to be ambitious enough to put on a wet setup and just go for pole. Someone who, wouldn't normally do it. I know that we're going to have a dry race, but what if you had a wet setup and you just put yourself in front and just held on as long as you can? Do you think anyone would actually go for that sort of crazy strategy?
Depends on how much of a wet setup you put on, because, if you go really aggressive with the high down for setup, you'll really screw... Oh, Beamer getting... Okay, but you'll really screw yourself over for the race. But I could see someone going a little higher on the downforce for qualifying. It's Marcel. So it's a 0.5 faster lap than P2. Wow.
Yeah, Marcel is one of our fastest drivers here in Division 2. Formerly known as Eruption. Every week he is known to put up absolutely blistering qualifying times. And we're going to see it here again today. Let's hop on board with Grid Jokes, who is now finishing a lap for real. He's going to cross the line, and he is going to stay in P5. I don't know if he improved or not. He improved on his time, but I'm not sure if he jumped up. So P5 for him at the moment. We've got Eric McNerney down here as well, who is just finishing a lap, I believe. He came across with the 37.7, put him in P10. And I believe we got another Williams back here as well. This is Ryan Newton. Every week we seem to point out that he puts up really good qualifying times, but he's just lacking a little bit of race pace. So we'll see if he can put himself in a good spot like he normally does.
Yep. It's quite interesting as well with Ryan, because you know, I feel like they just go for really heavy quality setups, and you just see them fade in the race. Um, but maybe they'll change it up. But it could be good for them with the high downforce setup, especially in the rain. So maybe they'll get a really good qualifying in here. Um, but currently, Dougie Falcons not set a lap yet. He is now starting one though.
Yeah, so
Where do you
Ryan
think he'll
Ryan
finish?
is down on his time, so we'll hop on board with Dougie Falcons. He does need to get a time on the board. Dougie is our championship leader right now, so very important for him to get a good starting place in this race. I say it's very important, but then again, we've seen Dougie every week put himself in a bad position to start. Not necessarily bad, but he's not ever starting in the top 3. Dougie's one of those guys who likes to start as he goes around during qualifying. Dougie ends up starting, sometimes outside the top 10 even. And he manages to make it work and pull it off. He's known for his incredible starts off the line. And, if he doesn't get in a good time here soon, he might have to have one of those today.
Yeah, especially like in Monaco, he made up 11 spots in like the first few corners. It was insane. And like Mexico, his starts are just insane. But if he can set himself really high up the grid for the beginning of the race, and he has one of those starts, he could easily be first position by the end of lap 1. Yeah, so we have a lot of times on the board now. Marcel absolutely destroying everyone by 5/10. Sid in P2, love to see it. But yeah, Dougie Falcons has not set a lap yet. That's got to be a little worrisome for him, because if he goes towards the end and he still doesn't have a lap, he'll get a lot more nervous because you don't want to start last.
Absolutely.
Oh my god.
Magnus and Cube also serving a qualification ban. So if you're curious why he's retired already, he does have a quality ban, and he'll have to sit out. Start from the back this week. Couldn't manage to stay out of trouble. But Lights comes across the line. He's going to put up a 36.1 as that track is beginning to slowly become faster and faster as the water sort of fades away from that racing line. And I'm telling you what, whoever is the last one to start a lap, I think that's going to be who has a very good chance to be on pole. I don't even see any rain anymore. Very light sprinkles, yeah. But this is nothing like what we saw when we first loaded into the session.
Yeah, rain is lining up now, so of course times will be tumbling down. But Lights actually did beat Marcel by 44 hundredths. Not sure if you already said that, but good stuff from him. And Beamer put himself P3. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think you're definitely right. Whoever comes out last has the best chance. The track will be at the best condition possible if the rain keeps lightening up. So maybe we'll see someone we don't expect to get pole, which would be kind of cool. It's always a surprise.
Sid Sadgear out, about to start a lap now. We are experiencing a little bit of lag in the server. We may call for a session restart after this just to make sure that we give ourselves the best opportunity to have a fair, clean race. But we're going to hop on board with Sid. Sid is our, I believe, only true Indian driver, at least, in this league. We do have 2 Indian American drivers, Ethan Patel and Beamer, or also known as Anand Trivedi. But Sid is actually playing from Delhi. Or is it Delhi? Something. I'm sorry if I'm wrong about that, Sid. But I know he's in one of the bigger cities in India, and it's pretty cool when you talk to him. Sometimes you can hear the car horns and the trains in the background. He is downtown, and I love Sid. Sid's been in this league for a long time, and literally pretty much from the start. And he's become one of the faces of Zoom Racing League at this point. Now the team principal of McLaren. He's got a lot of pressure on his shoulders this season to really pull through and carry as much weight as he can, especially because McLaren really isn't looking that good.
Yeah, no, McLaren have not gone to a good start here, and we're on the final stretch of the season-ish right about now. And yeah, McLaren aren't doing too well, but of course things can happen in the end. Anything can happen. Sid now soon to be entering sector 3, and he loses it.
And that's a tough section of corners to go through. But yeah, not able to hold on to it there. But luckily for him, he has a good time on the board currently. As he does just get beat out by, I believe, Max. Max comes across the line and butts Sid out of the 5th place position. And, if I'm Sid, actually, if I'm everyone right now, I'm coming into the pits and I'm going to wait. Because this is going to... I don't feel like there's a huge point of putting in times right now unless you're Dougie Falcons. Dougie Falcons, you've got to get a time on the board. But everyone else, just wait until the very end, because these times you're putting up aren't going to matter here when the track is nearly dry towards the end of this session.
Yeah. What's worrying me right now is when Dougie's just started his lap. Unless he fueled for a lot of laps, so a lap around here in the wet is what, like a 37, a minute 37. So by the end of this lap, it's gonna be like something, 3 something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's gonna come in the pits, and the pits are super long here. So I'm a little worried if he's gonna be able to get another lap in. If he just fueled for 1 lap here, I don't think he'll be able to get another one in.
You could be right. This could be his only real attempt at it, and he's on the lap now. It's looked clean so far, but like you said, yeah, he's not going to get a lap at the end of the session at this point. He's already wiggling as he comes out of the long double right-hander into Copse. Let's see how much speed he can carry. A little bit tap on the brakes. That's not something we usually see in dry weather. So drivers, you know, it's not fully dry yet. It's definitely still a little bit of rain, but the grip is coming too. And, you know, for Dougie Falcon's sake, he's going to hope, as he has a moment. Alvarez also DNFing from the session out of Copse. And, you know, when you really start pushing, sometimes those things happen.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Dougie pit right now, because it looks like he just had a huge moment. Maybe he can come in and, yeah, he's going to come in right now. So he can
get one shot at it.
Yep. Yeah.
And that's a smart decision because, like you said, these times here on the very last lap are going to be the ones that matter. And a lot of these guys are, you know, some of these guys who are still in the pits, I think they understand. You got Nan, Max, Sid, Mateo, Grid Jokes, Ethan Patel, Dougie Falcons now. These guys are all sitting in the pits because they know there's no reason to come out of the pits until we're under like 3 minutes, somewhere around the 2-minute 45-second mark. That's the time you want to come out. But all these drivers who are currently on the track, unless they time things perfectly, there's a good chance that they're not going to get a lap in at the very end, or at least it won't be on fresh tires if they do.
Yeah, and Marcel crosses the line for pole position right now. But interesting thing about him, it looks like is he recharging right now? He might try to be recharging so he can go for another lap here, because there's no way he can pit at this point and come back out. So he's probably going to be recharging around this lap or something like that. Try to get another lap in after this. But yeah, right about now we'll see all the drivers spilling out of the pits, and
yep.
And the times we'll just see fastest after fastest lap, I presume, with the weather.
The drivers are coming out now, led by Mateo, and I believe that's Max just in front of him. Oh, sorry, Grid Joke just in front of him.
Ryan Newton, pole position at the moment.
Yeah, Ryan Newton. For now, these times are not going to hold. I can nearly promise you that. But for right now, Ryan Newton's going to cross in P1, and he's going to make it back around because he is going to want to get another lap in as well. He shouldn't have any problems doing that. He's going to take his time on the way around as well because these laps are taking about 1 minute and 36 seconds, or 1 minute 40 if you're not pushing. And he wants to be the last one to cross the line. We'll see who the lucky last person is to cross the line. But yeah, that's who my money's going to be on to have pole. I don't care how fast they are normally. Whoever's the last one to cross the line, that's who it's going to be.
We'll have to wait and see. But Dougie Falcons has come out, so he is now on his out lap. He's kind of cutting it close, to be fair.
He is, but he's the last one out, yeah, because the Ferrari in the pits is Magnussen Cube, who's got a quali ban, and then the Aston Martin is Alvarez, who was pulled back by a tow truck after his retirement through Copse. So Dougie Falcons will be the last one to start a lap. So we will keep it on board with him when he gets there.
What about the Mercedes behind him? Is that Mercedes already on a lap?
I believe you're looking at Ethan Patel. Unless I'm...
Oh,
you know what? I'm looking at it wrong. Dougie Falcons is not the last one to start a lap. It'll be Ethan Patel. So we will keep all eyes on Ethan Patel when he starts his final lap. That'll be my favorite for pole.
Ethan Patel pole position. I like it.
If he makes it, you know. I don't know how much time's left in the section or left in the session. We'll see. Right now at the top, I'm seeing caution flags in sector 2. Can't really see how much time is left.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Ryan Newton is now starting another lap. So he could possibly get pole as well. But he is a little low on battery, so that'll be interesting. But yeah,
all right, 30 seconds left in the session. So here we
Oh
go.
my goodness me. Lights is 3 thousandths off Ryan Newton's time.
Oh,
And
that's
Ryan
unfortunate
Newton
for
just won
Lights.
it. Yeah, that's it for Lights. Oh, but let's hop on board really quick with
Well,
Marcel.
Ethan,
I'll go for it.
on real quick.
Marcel.
Ethan will be the last one to cross the line, but let's hop on board with Marcel. Like you said, Marcel's going to come to the line now. This will be his final lap. So we'll see.
He is up.
He's up on his time. This won't. I don't know if this could be pole or not. We'll see, I guess. So he says provisional pull. All right, so we'll keep an eye on that if he's able to hold on to it. Behind him, Eric McNerney is 3/10 up on his time as well. He's going to cross the line. I don't think it's going to be enough to get pulled, but he's going to move up some positions. So he's going to cross the line, and that is going to put him up to P5 for the moment. Next across the line is Max. He's up 3/10 as well. He's going to cross the line. It's going to put him P2, but it's not enough. Followed by his teammate in the Alfa Romeo. Grid Joke's going to cross the line, and he's going to jump to P10. Next across the line will be the McLaren of Sid Satgare, the beloved Sid. 5/10 up on his time. Little wiggle across the line, but he's going to jump to P5. And next across the line is going to be a Haas. I'm not sure which Haas that is. That is probably going to be a non-Trivedi. We're going to follow him as he goes through the final chicane. He's going to come around the final corner, see what sort of time he can put up. A lot of drivers coming to the pits, probably invalidated their laps. Anon's going to jump to P6. Then we have Dougie Falcons. Doesn't have a time on the board yet. This is all he's going to get. Comes across the line. Little wiggle, but he's going to go to P7. Next across the line, we will have, I believe, Pascal. And he's going to stay in P17. Not a big enough improvement. Alex Duarte crosses the line. He's going to stay in P16. And Ethan Patel, our last driver to cross the line, looks like he was 8/10 up on his time. And wasn't able to put it together. Had an incident through Stowe. And that will be the end of your qualifying session. So I guess I was wrong. You know, maybe that's a jinx. What do you think? Is that my fault?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, we are going to take a short intermission. I think that we are going to have a lobby restart here. So we'll see you guys all here in a couple minutes when we get back and have the drivers on the grid ready to go. All right, guys, and we are back here today at Silverstone for the Grand Prix. Believe that we should have connection issues sorted out. If not, we will have to do another grid restart. Hopefully, we don't have to deal with that today, but drivers right now are locked and loaded into their seats. They are putting in their setups, making the final adjustments for this dry race. Nerves are, I'm sure, are high. There's a lot on the line this season.
Yep. So we do have Marcel on pole, which isn't a complete surprise. Of course, he's rapidly fast. Give me a moment here because it's not letting me join the session.
Yeah, saw that it did say there you go. You rejoin now.
There you go.
So yeah, we got Marcel on pole with Max, the new driver in Division 2, starting in second place. That'll be our front row. So the Ferrari and the Alfa Romeo, we'll see it. Sometimes the first corner here at Great Britain can be a little interesting with the amount of speed that people can carry through it.
In turn 1 with full fuel and cold tires off the start, it can it can get interesting. Definitely some incidents can happen turn 1. Of course, even like in real life, Silverstone turn 1, there was like 4 cars that went out. It was insane. So
absolute chaos. Yeah.
So Marcel, and we have Max P2, right? So that's pretty cool.
Yep. We will have P2. No formation lap, so this will kick right into it, guys. We have the countdown, and lights should be up here shortly. And here we go. Lights are out, or going up. 3, 4, 5 lights. And it's lights out. And a little bit of a latency on that, but lights out and away we go as the drivers are off. Let's hop on board with Max as they head into turn 1. Side by side. And it does look like they got a pretty clean start. Couple drivers off in the background, but no huge damage, no DNFs yet. Lights in P3 able to make up a couple positions. And lots of side-by-side action as we head towards the first DRS zone.
Yeah, there was a little bit of tapping in the front with the Mercedes. I'm not entirely sure, but Beamer has now overtaken Lights, but they're going to be side by side into, I believe this is Brooklyn's. Beamer around the outside of Lights so far, and they're still side by side. This is some Valtteri and Lewis Hamilton action, 2019 all over. I think it was 2019. And yeah, it was pretty clean overtake from Beamer. It looks like both Red Bulls not having the greatest start.
Yeah, Dougie known for having fantastic starts. Not sure what's going on there. He may have some damage back here. It looks like he's still got his wing intact as he makes an attempt at an overtake on Mateo. Maybe too much fuel there, so not the start that we're used to seeing from Dougie. But on the flip side of things, up into 8th place, we have Alvarez, who started P19 in this race.
Yeah, how he's already got up to 8th place, 11 positions gained is phenomenal. That is the Dougie Falcon start we were expecting. Good stuff from him. Max still P2.
Can't wait to see.
Oh, lost the DRS from Marcel.
Oh, already? Yeah, wow. So already making that gap that he needs. And this is scary because we've seen before Marcel sometimes when he gets clean air, he is unmatched. There's nothing that anyone else can do. Dougie Falcon's into the pits. He must have had damage, so he's going to be hoping for a safety car to sort of recover his race. But when Marcel gets clean air, as we get flashbacks of, Mexico last season, where he won by 30-some seconds, just on a completely different level than everyone else, and you start to get a little bit worried for the rest of the field.
So, for tires, everyone is on hards except for Grid Jokes, Alvarez, and Garrett Elder, and Dougie Falcons. So Dougie Falcons does pit. He probably did have wing damage, is my guess, considering how wide he also went into cops. But yeah, it looks like Marcel is, he's probably gonna win this race. It looks like he's already taken over, 1.3 seconds ahead. Beamer 1.4 seconds behind Max. So between the top 3, they're pretty spaced out at the moment.
Yeah, I will say that Marcel was my favorite coming into this race to win the race. Putting it on pole helped those odds a lot. And then the fact that he's already broken the DRS gap, it is going to help even more. I know Max has 63% battery to Marcel's 86% battery. So right now, Marcel's really just out here cruising, and the gap is still growing. So and I'm going to say, unless we see a safety car or something drastic happen, this is Marcel's race to win for sure. But we've seen him do his fair share of spins under pressure. Just if that pressure gets applied or not, we'll have to wait and see. So we already do see a train beginning to form, starting with Anand Trivedi here in third place. Back behind him, we've got a long train of about 10 cars. Lights, Colin Edwards, Ryan Newton, Grid Jokes, Alvarez, Eric McNerney, Garrett Elder, Combined Uter, Magson Cube, and Sid Satgar at the back of that train. And then another train behind him, led by Alex Duarte. And you see the field's already starting to break up, sort of in two, but behind Alex is another little bit of a gap to Mateo, who Mateo's a quick driver. I'm sure he will close up that gap here shortly. We'll keep an eye on that. And, kind of going to be the tale of two trains here, I believe. Early in the race, at least.
Yeah. It's always unfortunate when you're in the second train, because if you do get past it, there's such a huge gap between you and the next one, and the next train's just getting DRS, and it's almost impossible to catch up to. But it looks like Beamer has caught up to the DRS of Max. So he does have DRS. He's using a bit of ERS, so he probably will be putting some pressure on Max here soon in the race.
And he's already created a gap on lights. That is something in past races we have never seen from Beamer. So we are maybe looking at a new and improved Beamer, putting it up on, putting himself in a great position through qualifying. And then in the beginning of this race, just, absolutely showing some crazy pace. There's the gap. He's already created the 1.2 second gap to lights, and he's reeling in Beamer, putting in times that are competitive with Marcel Pabst. So very impressive from Beamer, and hopefully he can keep this up, because that would be huge points for Haas, and they need it more than ever after the Division 1 driver, Freddie Rizal, has resigned from his seat. And that is the best driver in Haas right now. So in Haas, it's kind of a story of who's going to be the next man to step up. As we see Grid Jokes, unfortunately, taking a little bit of a spin in the Alfa Romeo, and he's going to go around in turn, I believe, 4, that is, turn 4 or 5, into the DRS zone. He's still going to get DRS, but it's not going to help him as he's fallen all the way down to 17th place, racing the likes of Ethan Patel, who is stuck back here in traffic as well. Dougie Falcon setting the fastest lap on those medium tires. But story of the day right now, apart from Marcel taking off way in front of everyone, Anand Trivedi in true form.
Yeah, this will be really good points for Haas, as you said. Freddie Rizal, probably their best driver. He has personal things that he has to now attend to, so he'll not be able to make the D1 races. So yeah, Beamer is going to be their best hope at the moment for them, and a P3 or a P2 would be really good. But yeah, anyways, oh, someone's going way down the list. I think it's Sid Satgar. May have had a moment.
Yeah, Sid is falling back to 18th place. He's lost a couple positions as well. But if we hop on board with Ethan Patel, he's managed to make an overtake as well. We got another McLaren around, so is that Eric McNerney? It is Eric McNerney around in the final corner coming on the straightaway. No damage, but, back-to-back spins for the McLaren team, and that's not what you like to see.
Yeah, already where they are in constructors. That's the last thing they need. But, stuff happens. So, Colin Edwards, P5, pretty good from him. And there's a big terrain here, so there probably won't be too much. See, Garrett Elder is in the front of the little train he has, but it's going to be so difficult for him to catch up to the back of Alvarez.
Well, he does have medium tires. He could.
Yeah, but then also, Alvarez is not medium tires.
That's true as well. But we've known Garrett to have a lot of pace in prior races. He's got a lot of battery. I'm assuming that he just had a little bit of a moment. He's got the medium tires. I have faith that he'll catch back up. I don't think that he's going to be that far off the pace of Alvarez, but we'll see. We'll see what happens as Sid gains a position on Pascal down in the back of the field. But as this race gets going, Marcel already has broken a 2.6 second gap, and it is growing as we speak.
Yeah, it's just incredible for Marcel, and he's on the hard tire compound, so he'll have the better tires to deal with at the end of this race. What happened to Alvarez? Did he pit? Did he spin?
Alvarez has a spin through Stowe, and that's not what you want to see for the Alfa Romeo or for the Aston Martin driver, as the two teammates are sort of glitching in and out of each other. Also, I believe that Dougie Falcons we see. No, that's Ethan Patel having a spin in the back through Stowe, And oh my, and that's going to be a time penalty for someone. As a safety car. It is a full safety car, which is what Dougie Falcons was looking for. Ethan Patel's going to need that as well. Wow.
Who took out Alvarez? Did you see what happened there?
I have no clue what happened, but it was one of the most violent incidents I've ever seen in F122. And I hope that whoever did that gets put in jail.
Yeah, they should never see the light of day ever again in their lives. Moving on. So this will be really good for Dougie Falcons and Ethan Patel, so they can catch back up to the field. And I wouldn't quite... Well, do you think there's a chance Dougie puts on hards here and just tries to make it to the end of the race?
I'm not sure what tire he started
he
on,
already
right?
passed the
So,
pits.
you know, he can wait. He can wait to catch up to the field first. It's up to him if he wants. He could go either way. You know, he could stay out and he could go to another pair of mediums at the end. But I don't know if he's got a fresh set of hards necessarily. But he's got. I mean, I guess his other hards, at worst, only have one lap on them, so he could go back to those theoretically.
He started on the mediums.
He did? Okay, so yeah, he could go to. He's got to make the tire change eventually. I think you're right. If I were him, I'd maybe try going to the hard tire, but I'd wait a lap to do it.
Yeah,
Just
he's already last. I think he might have Delta, so that's why. Oh, Marcel pits.
so Marcel. Whoa, we got a lot of pit lane
Wow.
action going on here. Marcel going from the hards. This is ensuring that he's gonna have to make a two-stop. There's no chance those mediums can go to the end. 21 laps. I don't know. I say that, but I can't promise that. There's a lot of cars in the pits right now. A lot of people come from the hards to the mediums. And this is shocking to me. If you're on the hards, I don't necessarily understand the move.
Maybe they know something we don't. I wouldn't have pitted, but maybe they're just better. Sid back up at a P7 from being like 18th not too long ago, so
Well, this is
good for him.
this is an absolutely amazing thing that just happened for Anand Trivedi, because he has now inherited the lead of the race and what, in my opinion, is the better strategy moving forward. I mean, I know we got now Marcel's down there in P8, right? And he's very fast, but he's got the medium tires. He's got to make it past 7 people to get back to where he was, and then he's going to swap to another set of mediums. Whereas Anand Trivedi, but you know, he'll swap to another set of mediums too, but I don't know, man. It's going to be tough. It's just going to depend how quickly Marcel can dice through this field. And all of the medium runners at that. All these guys who stayed out on hards, Sid, Eric, Magnus and Cube, combined YouTuber, Ryan Newton, Lights, and Anand Trivedi. I think that I have them favored for good results here, at least. The McLarens, that's a huge thing for them, because not only like did they both just have massive spins that cost them a lot of positions, they're not doing great in combined constructors, and this has just regained them the track position that they need to secure a decent finish.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's actually really good for him, 7th and 6th. It's unfortunate, combined YouTuber having that time penalty. That's going to bite him later in the race. Not something you would want already. Lap 7 into 26 laps. But
Dougie Falcons does switch back to the hard tire, by the way.
yeah, that's what I would expect. I doubt he would pit again. Maybe if only there was a safety car or something like that.
Other favorites we have to talk about. Garrett Elder in P12. Grid Jokes in P16. I know it sounds like a lost cause, but if they can just stay in DRS, those guys are not boxing again. Those guys are out for the remainder of the race. And, you know, if they, like I said, if they could just stay in DRS, when the other guys pit, the pit is so long here at Great Britain. It's ridiculous. You know, even if they're 10 seconds back from the leader pits, right? That leader's going to come out 20 seconds behind or so. They're going to be on faster tires, of course, but 20 seconds is a lot to run down Garrett Elder. I don't care what tire you're on, what the tire difference is. And there's only 26 laps in this race. There's not a whole lot of time, you know? It's going to be interesting here at the end.
Yeah, I definitely feel like Silverstone is one of the shorter tracks, even though it's a little bit of a longer lap time. Just feels like it goes by so fast. So, yeah, the Williams in a P3. So, what do you think? Like Marcel, Max, Colin, that pitted to these like new mediums. What do you think they're gonna do?
Well, they have to pit for another set of mediums. Right now, all they can do is hope that their fresh mediums versus these older hards they're going to be able to they're going to have to dice through the field, and they're going to try to make up positions, but it's going to be hard. These guys aren't just going to let them by, and this is Silverstone. You know, this is a lot about top speed and DRS trains, not a lot about cornering speed. The tires don't make massive time. They make some time, don't get me wrong, but they don't make incredible time difference when the DRS is active. These are not going to be easy overtakes by any means, but they're going to have to try to find their way through the field, and it's going to be tougher than they think. I think they might be in trouble. This might have been a mistake.
I reckon that, because usually if you want to do a huge undercut from like the hearts of the mediums, you can pit lap 10. And
Safety cars in this lap, by the way.
So if one of these medium runners can massively save their tires, I think there's a small chance that they can make it to the end of this race.
All right, well, we're about to go green. In the chat, if you're here in the chat today, there has been the ultimate wild card of a safety car. Let us know in the chat, who do you think is going to win at this point? My money is on Anand Trivedi. Let's see what happens as Anand is going to take us to the green flag restart, and he is off and underway. Gets a huge jump on lights. Might have already given himself the DRS gap that he needs. And back to the field, we've had a clean restart as well. In fact, Combined YouTuber may have held the field a little bit for his teammate, and those top 3 cars are gone and away into the sunset.
Yeah, there's already a 2.1 second gap between Combined and Ryan. Magnus and Q, that's the last thing he wants. And didn't he have a quali ban? Wow. He's already up in a P5. Pretty good for him.
Yeah, very good result for him.
Oh, what happened?
Some medium runners already.
Max. Oh, no.
Yeah, Max is making some moves to the field as well. But if we keep an eye on our medium runners, Marcel already made up 2 positions. He's made them up quickly. He's going to have to try to keep dicing through this field because those 2 front leaders are far down the road, and he doesn't want to lose touch with them if he owns any intention of winning this race.
Yeah. Yeah, this is gonna be so interesting because YL getting a 3-second time penalty there, but with Marcel, what is he gonna do? He's gonna have to pit again, and as you said, Silverstone track the pit stop is so long here, so yeah, I can't imagine Beamer not winning this race at this point unless another safety car happens.
If another safety car were to happen, Marcel could come in for another set of mediums, or he could try to stay out on the mediums that he currently has, and maybe he could avoid puncture if he could, take a couple easy laps under the safety car. This is going to be very tough. There is a long shot chance that maybe he could make it to the end and bank on not getting a puncture, but there's some other factors into that involving a setup that I'm not sure if he planned it that way. You'd have to set your setup specifically to avoid puncture, with your tire pressures and your suspensions. I just don't know if that's something that he set up beforehand, keeping in mind, hey, maybe I'll need this, so let's run higher tire pressures. Maybe let's run, softer suspension, keep the tire wear low. Who knows? But only in the Ferrari garage they know, as he does make an overtake on Eric McNerney, and his teammate is going to let him by as well. Madison Cube's going to pull over. So that leaves just one person on the way, and that is the Haas, the teammate of Anand Trivedi. And I know the Combined YouTuber is not just going to let Marcel by when we have a double Haas podium on the line right now.
Oh man, this is good. Well, Combined does have a time penalty, so that won't be good for him. Sid getting a time penalty as well, yellow in sector 2. But yeah, Beamer leading the race. I bet you his heart is pumping right now. Has he won a race in ZRL before?
No, Beamer can confirm is not good at the game, and he's never won a race here before. That is why he is driving for Haas. But right now, Haas have shown that they put in the work this week, and he is in first place. Combined YouTuber here in third as well. That's so strong for Haas. Even if they could hold on to a double top 5, even a double top 10 is huge for Haas. So, I'm cheering for him. They're the underdog story. Why not? Let's make it happen. Go Haas.
Yeah, for real. But Marcel already up in a P4 has been hunting down Combined YouTuber. Has the has the DRS and the ERS. He's actually not going to use any of his DRS. He's confident enough with just the DRS, and he's going to send it inside to the Brooklyn's corner, and he's going to make that overtake look easy. But now he has to hunt down Lights and Beamer. So Beamer and Lights both on 10 lap old hards. that Marcel right now is on 4-lap old medium, so he'll probably hunt him down pretty quickly. But Marcel has to pit again.
Yeah, yeah, they all got to pit
Oh, yeah,
again.
I'll do.
You got to give credit to Marcel. I didn't think that he would cut through the field that quick, but if there's anyone who's going to do it, it's going to be him, right? The other medium drivers, not quite as lucky. You see Max down there, not able to slice through the field as well. He's down there in P8, you know, behind him. Colin Edwards tried the same strategy. He's not slicing through the field either. But Marcel Paps is built different. This guy slices through the field, got a free position on his teammate as well, and the Haas of Combined YouTuber couldn't even really stand a chance against him. So the work, the effort, the practice this week is showing up today, and Marcel is already on the run for that P1 position, and he's in a good place to win still, regardless of the pace of the drivers in front of him.
Yeah. Excuse me. So, yeah, Max had a really unfortunate course of events for him. So, you know, like the traffic, and that kind of just all hope was lost for him to try to make it back up to Marcel with the deltas between him and the other drivers. So, yeah, but Dougie Falcons now with the safety car restart has made it up to P15, and he has Wyatt on a pair of softs in front of him. But yeah.
And do not forget, like I said, I'm not counting these guys out. Garrett Elder, just not even a corner back. Leaders are just going through cops. Garrett Elder's just, you know, within 10 seconds back of the leaders, and he doesn't have to pit again. He can make it to the end on these tires. He just has to keep a steady pace, and he's already lost the DRS train, but keep an eye on this, because I think at the end, it could be these guys are pitting, and they're chasing down Garrett Elder for the win.
Garrett Elder is going to win the race, confirmed. You hear it here first.
It's possible. It's definitely possible. I think people are underestimating the length of the pit stop. And, you know, Garrett Elder, he's been racing here for a couple seasons. He's seen how long these pit stops can be. And I'm sure he was thinking in his head, I'm not making another pit stop. So he's going to go ahead and make these guys take their pit stops. And he's just going to reel them in. As we see a McLaren around, that's Sid Satgare. Garrett's going to have to slow down to make sure he doesn't make contact with him. But Marcel already on the gearbox of lights as they head into turn 3. Making it around turn 4, he's going to have DRS this time by... Lights is also going to have DRS, though. Is he going to be able to make the overtake? Lights has 52% of his battery compared to Marcel's 30%. He's going to pull over, and that top speed is absolutely incredible in that Ferrari engine.
Yeah, I know. He was using ERS, and Lights was conserving his battery. Maybe he realized that he probably won't have a decent chance of battling Marcel, and just to not lose as much time battling, and to not lose, you know, the time to Beamer. So he's gonna hope that Marcel and Beamer will have a lot of battling, and that'll help Lights. But yeah, it will be interesting. Oh my gosh, if you look at Marcel, it's just he's gaining so much pneumatic as the back gets to Beamer. You might honestly have a run here up to what's this called? Forgot the corner.
Into Stowe. So yeah, he's gonna have a run into Stowe. He might try to make the overtake early. Make it happen in one lap. He's going to go around the outside. Beamer holding it in tight. He's not going to let it go easily. Not without a fight. He's got the old hard tires, but he's going to be able to get the position. And those medium tires definitely have paid off at this point. Huge result for Marcel Paps.
Just amazing. I mean, he overtook them both, and from Brooklands and then Stowe all in one lap. Really impressive stuff. Of course, Beamer is going to try to be in the DRS of Marcel for as long as he can, so, you know, he can keep the back of him. But they will both have to pit again, and Beamer will be on, you know, new mediums, while Marcel will be in hards. So that'll be better for Beamer, or non-Trivedi. And Dougie Falcons up to P11.
Oh my gosh!
What?
I'm telling you what, if you check that gap to leader, Garrett Elder is going to win this race. Unless Marcel Paps figures out a way to stay out till the end, and Max and Colin Edwards, if they figure out a way to avoid puncture, it could be theirs. But if you look at the gap to leader, Garrett is only 7 seconds back. These guys have to pit again. I am 90% positive they do. And these pit stops here are around 30 seconds. This is the slowest pit stop on the F1 calendar. Garrett Elder, if these guys were to pit right now, Garrett Elder would be 23 seconds ahead. and that is a lot of time to find. These guys have no choice. And he thought about pitting. So I think Marcel's realizing I'm not gonna make it. Oh my gosh, Garrett Elder's gonna win this race.
Oh my goodness. Garrett Elder, the man, the myth, the legend. If he wins this race, oh, that's just gonna be amazing.
I hope he does, man. The strategy call for Garrett, if he wins this race on old hard tires from making the pit stop that he needed to make early, hats off to him. But you know, he's got to keep that gap low as he can, because when these guys come out on fresh mediums, he's going to be on old hards, and they will be running him down. I won't be surprised if they're getting 2 seconds a lap. He just has to have the gap there. Right now, he is 8 seconds back, and we'll watch that gap to the leader, because I don't know, Hudson. What do you think? Is there any chance that Marcel Pass makes it to the end here?
I think that we could see a Lewis Hamilton 2020 happening with Max Verstappen, like hunting him down, bro. Like Garrett Elder is gonna be like, I don't know. There might be the smallest chance that Marcel could hang it out.
He's at 8 laps right now. Can he make 19 laps on mediums? Anyone in the chat, anyone in general chat, let us know. If you know something we don't, can Marcel Paps make it to the end? Can he go 19 laps on medium tires at Silverstone? Is that possible?
That's the YouTube algorithm.
And they're in. They're into the pits. That is confirming. Colin Edwards, does he make the choice? He's going to go. He's going to stay out. He might be trying to go to the end. Marcel commits. He is admitting defeat. He's going to have to try to reel in Garrett. So we will see. You know, also in that mix, Dougie Falcons is not too far behind Garrett. Dougie Falcons now P5. And he can see Garrett going through turn 3 right now. Eyes are on Garrett. And Dougie Falcons may be the faster driver than Garrett on race pace. What if Dougie Falcons wins this race? That would be something. These have to be the two favorites. Garrett is 4 seconds ahead of Dougie Falcons. This is such an interesting race. The strategy's coming to play. I hope we don't see a safety car ruin what could be a fantastic strategic call for the Williams, for the Red Bull, and for these drivers. You know, I just hope that this race ends cleanly the way that it has gone so far.
Oh my god, this is going to come down to the very end. This is just an awesome race. Dougie Falcons, Garrett Elder. I mean, my favorites are with Garrett Elder at the moment. I mean, 4.6 seconds now. He's extending the gap a little bit. Dougie Falcons is struggling a little bit. One lap older hards than Garrett Elder. Probably not makes too much of a difference, but we do have 10 laps left. Currently leading Colin Edwards from Max, just Max. And these two drivers, they're going to have to do what Marcel did. They're going to have to pit, but they're not. So maybe they're having the idea of, let's try to just stick this out. I don't think it'll work too well for him, but you never know. They could surprise us.
I'm just curious if Colin and Max are planning to come in, or if they're going to risk it. If you're Colin, you haven't won a race this season. You're not sure about the tire we're making to the end or not. You're probably going to hit puncture range. But what's cool about this game is puncture range. I don't know if you call this cool. I'm going to take that back. Interesting about this game is puncture range is completely random. After 75, yeah, it's a timer. It's a random timer at that. No one knows what the timer is. And we love RNG and competitive league racing, of course. But
yes,
you know, it's like Colin is going to be hitting 75% wear. We know he's going to hit 75% wear. I don't think there's any argument about that. But after 75%, you know, he could puncture at 80%. He could puncture 85%. He could make it all the way to 99% if he's lucky enough before these things puncture. And if he does that, you know, why not? Go for it. This is his best chance at a win this season. He could take the easy result, and he could take a safe result. Or, you know what? Go for the win, Colin. Let's see what happens. Same thing for Max, new driver to this league. Could be your very first win of the season. Could go for it. But also, you know, you're in P2 right now. Could just settle for the points and come to the pits right now and take your losses. This is crazy. I have no clue what's going to happen.
Yeah, I hope we don't see Colin pit, just for the chances of like Lewis Hamilton 2020 happening all over again. Like puncture to the line, that would be awesome. Looks like Beamer has just made an overtake on Mateo, trying to get some positions back from pitting. But yeah, man. Like if you look at Garrett Elder, he's just pulling away from Dougie Falcons. Like Dougie Falcons has lost like 2 seconds in 2 laps. Like Garrett Elder has some serious pace right now. It seems like. It also helps he has DRS, of course.
Yeah, he does have the DRS. Even Dougie Falcons getting a podium could be insane. Oh, this is crazy.
Oh, it looks like Mateo pits.
Yeah, he's gonna wave the white flag. These medium runners are gonna have to choose soon to wave the white flag or not, including Ethan Patel down here in P14. All these guys, I don't think it's gonna happen. I just don't see it. You're gambling. You're big gambling, and I love gambling, but you know, this is too far.
Oh, this is gonna be so awesome! I just can't wait to see that in this race. I mean, we got 8 laps left.
I wonder if Garrett even knows that he's the favorite. Like at that safety car restart, I called it out. I said Garrett's gonna win this race. And if it happens, I told you so. But at that point, I wonder if Garrett knew I'm on to win this race. So our leading driver from the mediums, I don't know what happened to Marcel, by the way. He's lost a lot of track position. Anand Trivedi, 23 seconds back, 22 seconds back from Garrett. That is your best chance, and he's got 6 laps to get it done. I don't think he's finding that time in 6 laps.
Here, Dougie.
What's that?
Or, sorry, what?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't think Anand can find 22 seconds on Garrett Elder in 6 laps. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, even with those new mediums, it's just not gonna happen. So Garrett Elder, hopefully we don't give you commentator's curse. You are right behind Sid. Sid does not have the DRS anymore. So, excuse me. So you will get the overtake done on Sid, and now you have Max in front of you, and he is on 12 lap old median. Well, dude, oh my God, you know, you never know. They could make it.
There's 7 laps left.
They could make it.
I don't know.
That's 19.
I know that if you start on the hard tire, you're pitting around lap 16.
No. But
16, you know,
16?
13 to 16, somewhere in that window. That's a pretty good window, I would say. But then I know, like, for instance, in our team practice, we had people pitting on lap, 13 who hit 70% tire wear on the mediums. That's doing 13 laps on the mediums. So I don't know. Maybe our setups wear a lot quicker. Who knows? But these guys got to be pushing 70% right now. That would be my guess.
Maybe they're just gonna hope that the puncture comes really late for them. I would keep a look on P1 and P2, and then all of a sudden they start dropping. Freaking tires shredded at that point. But Sid does pit. Or he had to, actually.
We also have confirmation from the Aston Martin strategist in the chat. Labib12 says, you cannot make it to the end without avoiding puncture range. Ferrari has trolled their strategist, pitting them behind Mateo. So that's what happened to Marcel. If we were curious what happened, how did Anand get that gap? Well, Marcel got pitted behind Mateo, the Aston Martin, and he must have got trapped because Anand Trivedi was far and clear ahead of Marcel. And, Anand has had a great race, and I was all for the double Haas podium, but this crazy come from behind strategy from the 2 hard runners and grid jokes as well. He's in there in P5. I'm all for that as well. Even more heroic though, if these guys on mediums could stay out and make it through the puncture range, I'm for that as well. There's a lot of win-win situations here. I'm cool with this.
Yeah, I mean, whoever wins this race, like, this is just nuts, man. Like, what a great race.
I'm just waiting for the rain clouds to start coming in or something else to just make it even crazier. Like, holy cow. It's time to pit.
Yeah, man.
Max pits. And that's what I kind of expected. I thought Max might pit because, it's his second race of the season. He's got a lot of time to win races. But Colin Edwards has been here for a while. I don't think he's got a race win yet, at least not in D2. So this could be really, really huge for him. He may have had a D3 win, but I'm not sure because Cal was in D3, as well as Wild Fury and Freddie Rizal. There's a lot of competition. I don't remember if he got a win in D3 or not when he was there. But, it is time to come to the pits if you're going to call it quits. And Garrett Elder goes around! And Dougie Falcons is coming around the corner. Is he going to inherit the provisional lead? Not yet. He's going to have to get around Garrett Elder, and he's going to go around the outside. And Dougie Falcons is now our provisional race leader if Colin Edwards cannot make it to the end. Unfreaking believable.
Oh my god, the turn of events in this race that just happened. Ah, you gotta feel so bad for Garrett Elder, man. But now, from Dougie Falcons being dead last in lap 1, I think, and then he was last again, and he's somehow the provisional leader in this race. I mean, unless Colin can just whip something out of his butthole, man. Like, I don't.
And you know, the gap is pretty large now. If he could get, like, you know, like you said, that Lewis Hamilton dramatic last lap puncture, he could maybe bring it to the end. Like, you know, like, he's got that 8-second gap. And he's staying out, man. He's staying out. But these guys are going to start reeling him in, too. They got 5 laps. They're going to start reeling him in. I don't know. I do not know. Even if he stays out,
more than a second per lap, they would have to gain.
But they might be doing that. These mediums are at the, you know, I think they're past 70% at this point. He's probably in puncture range. I'm even watching him. He's nourishing these tires. Like, anything he can do to. Oh man, I don't know. Dougie Falcons has already gained 7/10 on Colin Edwards through a couple corners. These hards are fine. They're fine. They're primed. They're primed right now. But Colin Edwards is on his last leg right now, and they are reeling him in. 4 laps left. Can Colin Edwards make it to the end of the race? We don't know. We don't even know if he can stay in front, but he's going to do everything he can, and I don't blame him. Colin Edwards has a chance for a win here, and he's going to give it his all.
I think quickly here. Dougie Falcons. Look at the battery difference. Garrett Elder almost has full battery.
Yep.
Dougie Falcons has 25. So you never know, man. Garrett Elder, he isn't slow. He could possibly make an overtake here on Dougie through a straight with the humongous ERS difference they have.
Oh my gosh. It is not easy. Oh, I don't know. It depends on the wings that these two are running. I don't know what kind of wings they're running. If Garrett's on low downforce and Dougie's on high downforce, it could be easy to pass. But if they're both on low downforce, you know, I don't know if Dougie's going to be easy to pass regardless of the battery situation. But Garrett has a lot left. You're right. Colin Edwards going to stay out for now. He's continuing to gamble. I would love to know what percentage of what percentage his tires are at right now. If there's an Alpine strategist around that wants to let us know, I am so curious. But I think we have to be close to the puncture. It has to be right around the corner, and you can just see like how slow he's taking these corners.
Yeah, oh man, this is getting so close for Colin. I mean, at this point, it's just like you have to go for the win. There's no option to pit. Like, you just got to do it, and I hope it works out for him. But at the same time, I would love to see a fight for the win between Dougie and Garrett. So, it's whoever wins this. It's you can't be upset.
No, you cannot. This has been a fantastic race. You kind of feel a little bit bad for Eruption and Anand, who probably should have been both on the podium if we're going to talk about legitimately who was the fastest driver here today. But the strategy calls have been huge. You know, like strategy is a huge part of racing, and that's something that, you know, a lot of people don't take into account. It's not just about time trial pace and raw pace. You know, these engineers and these guys, they put together this stuff throughout the week for situations that could happen, and these guys could get wins off strategy, and that's not something we see too often in F122.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stay on with Colin right now and just
me too.
Hope that a puncture doesn't happen, man.
You hope for the guy, you really do. He's got 17 lap old mediums.
3 more laps left, Colin. 3 more laps. If you could just hold on for 3 more. Oh my god.
Oh man, this gives me flashbacks. Someone in the chat is pointing it out as well. Zux is pointing out this gives Singapore flashbacks. I don't know if anyone remembers this, but Garrett was in P2 behind a driver who was staying out and ended up, being on the wrong tire at the very end of the race, and Garrett just reeled him in on the very last lap and took him out. So, I don't know.
Also, 4.5 second difference.
Oh yeah, and the mediums are just falling off harder than ever right now. Harder than ever.
I still don't think they'll catch him. There's no way. 3 laps, 4.5 seconds. That's like,
I'm
you know,
I'm calling it now. There's going to be a
1.1.
last lap puncture.
Good.
It's going to be a last lap puncture.
Don't say that.
I
Don't
hope
say
not.
that, man.
I hope
That's
I'm
messed
wrong.
up. That's messed up.
There could be a last lap puncture that we're in for. Oh man.
Jesus, Colin.
And they are
Oh,
reeling him in
God.
so fast, and every
Look
lap
at
it's getting
the tires.
faster and faster too. The tire whisper, Colin Edwards.
Oh my God. Oh my God. He spun. Garrett Elder spun, trying to
Garrett Elder goes
overtake
around.
Dougie Falcons.
No. So that's gonna get
Ridge Oaks is gonna pass Garrett Elder here.
okay. So that's gonna get a battle for P2. You know what? Let's go, Colin. I know Dougie
Yeah.
is my teammate, but this would be heroic. This would be tire whisper, 110%. Dougie's running him down 4.6 seconds back. 2 laps, Colin. 2 laps. Can he make it?
I really hope. Oh man. I think
4.4.
it's a-
And Dougie now has a sight on Colin. He can smell the blood. And Colin really is just a sitting duck right now. 4.0 seconds.
Man, he's reeling him in, but he won't be able to reel him in fast enough, I don't think. But Colin Edwards, dude, you have like a 1.5 laps remaining going into cops, dude. Oh my God, if he could pull this off, that'll be so impressive, man. Pitted like lap 8 or 7 from the safety car, and here he is, lap 25 out of 26 on the same old medium tires with Dougie Falcons reeling him in. Oh man, come on, Colin, come on, man, let's go. Use that battery.
3.5 seconds. He is gaining like a second lap. I think you're right. I don't think it'll be enough.
Here we come.
Can he take
Approaching
it
the last
one
lap.
more
Colin Edwards.
lap? Or are we going to see a last lap puncture? Anantra already gets passed by lights for P5. Everyone's on the edge of their seats. Colin Edwards taking it through turn 1 for the last time. 3.2 seconds back to Dougie Falcons. He can see him now as he's heading into turn 3, the braking zone. 3 seconds now. The gap is closing ever so quick. Colin Edwards so slow through these final lapped corners. 2.6 seconds. And Dougie can see him. He might have DRS as we hit to the last DRS zone if he keeps up this pace.
Man, yeah, Colin is just being so careful, nursing these tires because he knows that if he's just, yeah, they're, oh my God, dude, he's just got to be so careful because as soon as he gets a puncture, that's easy P1 gone. Oh, he's
2
going super wide here.
seconds. And Dougie can see him right in front. 2 seconds, 1.9.
But he's using all of his battery right now. Like, oh my God, okay, Colin has 37% battery. Dougie has like no battery left, using all of it. This is Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton 2020 all over again, Silverstone, dude. Hopefully Colin does not get the puncture.
And he
Oh
spins!
my God,
And he
you got a puncture, you
spins!
got a puncture. Puncture, you got a puncture.
Oh my God, it happened.
Got the rear
And Colin
puncture.
Edwards goes around in Maggots and Beckett's on the last lap. He held on as long as he could, and that is going to be it for the Alpine driver. But heroic effort, but not quite heroic enough, as Dougie Falcons, 7.4 seconds in front of Garrett Elder, is going to come through the final 2 corners, and in a strategic masterclass, Dougie Falcons from the back of the field to win the race at the Silverstone Grand Prix, followed by Garrett Elder and Grid Jokes, the reserve driver for the Alfa Romeo. What an unbelievable result.
I'm crying myself to sleep tonight. Like, I'm so sad for Colin, man. Oh my gosh. Got to puncture in the worst possible place. There's no saving that. Maggots and Beckett's. If he got it on the straight, there would be a chance that he can save it. Yeah.
And he's going around again in the final chicane, and this is going to be more of a disaster. But I don't care what anyone says. Hats off to Colin Edwards as he's coming across the line now with the puncture. We will stay tuned on with him. He's got the puncture. I believe he's got the puncture. Yeah, in the back left, he's got that puncture. You see it, the tire just wrapping around. Couldn't make it.
Quick feed here. Dougie Falcons finishes with 81% front left, 79% front right, and a 76% rear left. Wow.
Unbelievable.
Imagine what Colin's tires were on.
He may have been very near 100%. I don't care what anyone says. That was one of the most impressive drives from Colin Edwards, or from any driver in Division 2 that I've seen all season. Incredible drive. An incredible race. That was... If that doesn't win Race of the Year, or Race of the Season when we do our end of season awards, I don't know what does. That was awesome.
France D2 was pretty good.
Yeah.
But also, little message here. Garrett Elder is not happy with Dougie Falcon saying that was bleeping. That should be a race ban. So there may have been a big incident between the two when Garrett spun off. We clicked on too late, so we didn't really see what happened between the two. But maybe there could be a penalty incoming for Dougie, which of course is Red Bull teammates. I hope not, but it could happen, of course, and that could be a win for Garrett Elder. So we'll see. But as we see now, Dougie Falcon does take the win. There
is an 8-second gap to Garrett. We'd have to see a major 10-second penalty be applied, which is pretty unheard of. But regardless, penalty points could be applied if there was some sort of incident between the drivers. Still, I don't want that incident to take away from what was the craziest race of the season. I'm just glad that we all got to witness it. I hope that everyone stayed up. I know it's a late night on a Saturday, but I hope everyone stayed up and tuned into that. That was incredible. Colin Edwards in the chat saying that was my only chance to win. 88% on the rear left, and it went.
Oh, man.
So, we need to get these guys into the broadcast booth. Let's see, we got Dougie. Oh, man, we got Dougie and Garrett. Both are going to be in the broadcast booth with us. Just give me a second to reach out.
Yeah, Colin Edwards got to join this booth.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get Colin Edwards in here as well. Reach out to our podium drivers and Colin. Let's go ahead and get this one out of the way. All right, grid jokes. I know it kind of just fell into your lap more or less, but congratulations on P3. How do you feel after that drive?
For like the last 2 laps, I was like shaking because I think the Alpine from me spun. So
he had a puncture.
So I was like fighting for a podium. Oh.
Yeah, so
no, I just spun.
So it was such an interesting race. I hope you watch that back if you didn't know the whole situation. But yeah. There was an Alpine on 88% wear, holding down for the win, and on the last lap through Maggots and Beckett's, he got a puncture. They ended up giving you a podium. And, you know, it was a masterclass strategy for the three of you that went to hard tires. It was a brilliant decision. Is there anything that led into that, or was it sort of just, it kind of fell into your lap?
Oh, well, I like spun early on in the race, and then when the safety car came out, I just thought to myself, you know, I have nothing to lose anymore. I might as well just go along on the hards, and if it doesn't work, then so be it.
Well, it definitely worked out in your favor. Huge race for Alfa Romeo. I know you're a reserve here this week, but very good result for you in your is this your reserve debut? No, you've raced here before as a reserve, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, well, very good result for you, and I hope we get to see more of you on the grid here in the near future, because that was a fantastic strategical call and very good race from you. Grid jokes, you kept it clean, kept it consistent, stayed out of trouble, and ended up on the podium.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep. And I don't know if we're going to have anyone else join the booth or not.
I think they're busy talking. Here. Let's just get fucking Colin. Oh, he has no mic.
Yeah, so Colin is not going to be able to do an interview. He does not have a microphone here today. So we're going to bring Dougie Falcons into the booth. And our race winner, Dougie Falcons, congratulations on one of the most crazy wins I think we've ever seen in the history of Zoom Racing League. What do you have to say about it?
I don't know what to say.
Only from like the last. That was insane.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just it just went. I thought it was over after lap 5. Then the safety car came out. I didn't think I was going to win it, but man, yeah, no, I didn't know. I was just, I was speechless coming up to the final corner. When I saw Colin Edwards have that puncher, I thought I was going to get a puncher because I was very close as well. And yeah, no, it was just crazy. The strategy worked out. So I have to thank the strategy. And yeah, no, that was that was exciting at 4 a.m. So yeah, I've enjoyed my morning now.
It was exciting in the booth as well. That's crazy because you're on the hard tires and you're close to a puncture. You know, there's got to be a little bit of a respect. Hats off to Colin Edwards for an incredible medium drive, making it as long as he did before he got the puncture on the final lap. Oh man.
Last sector.
Yeah, and you just never know what could have happened if that would have gone just a couple more corners before that puncture came in. We could have had a Lewis Hamilton situation where he's coming across the line with a puncture on his rear tire.
Yeah, that's it was kind of like that, and yeah, fair play to Colin Edwards for trying to make those work. I guess he had no other choice because I think lots of people pitted for the mediums on when that safety car came out. So yeah, it was.
You gotta
brave,
respect it, man, because that guy decided, you know what, I'm going for the win, and it almost worked. So close to working out, and if he would have won that would have been absolutely hats off. But regardless, you played the strategy call or the strategy card. It worked out for you. Garrett spun himself out. You were able to take that track position, and a little bit of contact between you two. Anything that you want to say in regards to that? I know he mentioned he wasn't very happy.
With that one, I think I was looking at it because I made my one move. I think Garrett went straight onto the grass for some reason. I don't know why I gave him the space. And then I think from the grass he just braked onto my car and hit me. So there's nothing I could do there. I've already made my move, and he tried to go on the inside. It wasn't really going to work, and yeah, that's unfortunate. But if students have something to say about it, it's fine. But yeah, I don't think I did anything in the wrong. I had gave him the space, and he just hit my car. But other than that, he drove a great race as well because I thought he was going to win it. At one
so
point.
Did we. We were kind of cheering for him in the booth, to be honest. We thought that he made the great strategy call, and he really did. So we were kind of cheering for that. But
the whole race.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, oh man, I was happy with any result. That was crazy. So very good result for you and the team at Red Bull. But yeah, we will see you next week. I know next week you're going to be reserving for Division 1 as well. Lots of pressure. How do you feel about Austria?
Austria is all right. It's a bit of a tough track in a sense. It seems easy, but it's tough at the same time. So pretty excited, and yeah, it was one of those. Yeah, hopefully that comes good, and it won't be as chaotic as this one. It'll be easy and boring or something. So that'd be nice.
One last question for you. Every week we see you put yourself in a difficult position, it seems like, in qualifying one way or another, but you manage to usually make it up on the start. This week, not so much, but what are you going to do to make sure that in the future you're not set up for failure from the beginning?
Yeah, qualify better would be the easiest answer, but yeah, I guess, I don't know, just try and not be terrible on that day, and just I think calm my nerves down. I guess I don't know what it is.
I think a lot of us deal with that who are in this community. If you talk to pretty much any of these drivers, we all deal with the same nerves, same issues with that, and it's something you got to learn to deal with. I know Hudson's our fastest driver in the league over here, and he deals with it every Sunday night. I deal with it too. It's not something that just goes away, so it's more or less like how you handle it. I completely understand, but tonight, you were a masterclass when it came to the race, and fantastic drive, Dougie. We look forward to seeing you next week in Division 2 and reserving for Red Bull in Division 1. So, congratulations again, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
All right, Hudson. This was the craziest race of the year. You have any final words before we do the sign-off?
Rest in peace, Colin.
I'm with you there. We'll make the gravestone. We'll put it down. We'll put the flowers and everything because he deserved it. He had a great race. I really feel like that was all Colin's to win, and it's just unfortunate that happened on the final lap. I feel bad for him, but nevertheless, it happened, and Dougie Falcons walked away with the win. So, yeah, I don't really have much to say other than that. It was a crazy race, just shocking. I'm still kind of speechless. So, if you guys haven't already, go ahead, hit the like button. You definitely need to after today. Hit subscribe button as well, because we have more racing action just like this tomorrow night. Silverstone Division 1 at 8 p.m. Eastern time, so 2 hours before the start of what we had today. It'll be our best drivers in Zoom Racing League, our fastest drivers, and yeah, next week we will be back at Austria. We'll have a sprint race with some bonus points available. And we look forward to seeing you guys back for that. Until then, thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate your support. And we will see you then next week. Have a good night.